Hi guys, today I'm gonna be reviewing my favorite decade, 1980s. Yeah, pretty good decade, but there's some bad changes like the closing down of mental institutions, which increases homeless rates. I mean, that's kind of started in the 60s when they started doing that, really. But like, I think it ends around the 80s, and it's more effective around the 80s, so that's why I mentioned it. It's the last full decade of the Cold War, last full decade of the Soviet Union. Yeah. What else? I'm trying to think. I guess like it is a good decade though, because we start to get away from the things that happened in the 60s and 70s, I guess. But there's, you know, still, I guess, some crazy things going on in this decade. Okay, so 1980, I'm gonna do it in order now. 1980, the Mental Health Systems Act gets passed. Yeah, I think that happened. Let me see what it was about real quick. Yeah. Let's see. Let me see what it was about. Grants to mental health centers, okay. But I heard it failed. Yeah. Let's see. What's the next election? Was it 90? Yeah, also in 1980, there was the election between Reagan and Jimmy Carter. Reagan wins. A lot of people did not like Jimmy Carter. Yeah, that's because of the Mental Health Systems Act and the Iranian hostage crisis happened during his presidency. I think that's why. But yeah, 1981, Reagan gets inaugurated into office. Yeah. And, oh yeah, 1980, the Friday the 13th series starts. Yeah. It was like the rise of like modern horror, all that. Yeah. 1982, I think that's when the real rise of Michael Jackson starts, with like Thriller and stuff like that. Which is a good song. I like Thriller a lot. It's a good song to listen to during Halloween. What else happened in 1982? I don't know. 1983, Michael Jackson releases Beat It. Good song, I love that song. 1984 is when the next election happens. Reagan gets reelected. That's because people like the job that Reagan was doing at the time. But don't forget, this is the same guy that closed down mental institutions and increased homeless rates, which is not good shit, okay? I'm just pointing it out there. Anyways, yeah, that happened. 1985, The Goonies, Back to the Future, and all that stuff comes out. Pretty good movies. Yeah. 1986, Stand By Me comes out, which is a great movie. It has a star-studded cast, like I said. A really great movie. I enjoy that movie. Yeah. 1987. I don't know what happens in 1987 that much, really. It's probably like the least eventful year of the 80s. 1988. The election happens again, and H.W. Bush wins it. 1988. Yeah. When did the Berlin Wall fall? Let me check. When did that shit fall? Now we're on to 1989, I guess. Berlin Wall fall. It fell in late 89, yeah. So yeah, 1989, the Berlin Wall falls. After about 40 years. It means West and East Germany are no longer bordered, which is good. I guess that's a good thing to come out of the 80s, but yeah. I'd say like the closing of mental institutions is a big flaw in this decade. Because, like I said, it increases homeless rates. Yeah. That happens. But I'd say in terms of like entertainment, music, movies, this is a great decade. Heck, you know, yeah. 1980s, I'm gonna look at their fashion. Fashion in the 1980s, I mean, let me see. It's kind of similar to today, to be honest. But, I mean, it's slightly different, I guess. I don't know. Mullets were pretty popular back then. Especially around the late 80s. Shoulder pads. Because that's what women used to wear in the 80s. I used to wear like a lot of dancey kind of clothing in the 80s. Because like in the early 80s it was still like in the disco phase, sort of. We didn't get out of it yet. But yeah, I mean, fashion, I mean, I'm not interested in fashion after the 50s that much, but I guess it's slightly better than 70s fashion. You know, it still kind of sucks. What else is it's the rise of like hip hop happens in this decade with NWA and all that stuff. And also in 1984, Arnold Schwarzenegger debuts in Terminator. Yeah. Which is pretty good. I like Terminator. So yeah, we see the rise of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's a pretty good actor, I'm not gonna lie. I like his movies. I also liked his other movie, but that's the decade after, so I can't mention it yet, because we're still in the 80s. What else do I like about the 80s? Oh yeah, I forgot. 1985, the NES comes out with Super Mario Bros. It's a really good game. And then I think they also come out with the Lost Levels in 1986. 1988, they come out with Mario Bros. 2. I played Lost Levels in Mario Bros. 1. Pretty fun-ass games, I'm not gonna lie. I like those games a lot. I enjoy them. I like 80s games, they're pretty good. There's also Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, which is Mario's first appearance, I think. It's in, I think, the 1983 version of Donkey Kong. Yeah. Trying to think what else, was this the rise of? Well, you notice, like, there's a trend in, like, culture from, like, I guess this half of the century. So 50s is, like, very conservative, and, like, the 60s, 70s is, like, very liberal. And in the 80s, it becomes more conservative again because of, like, the whole Cold War shit. Yeah. I'd say, like, 80s is kind of a mix of conservative and liberalism. In a way, yeah. But yeah. What I like about the 80s, I guess, like I said, the aesthetics really great. The books, I mean, they made good books back then. I read The Body from 1982 by Stephen King, really good book. It's the one that got adapted into the 1986 Stand By Me movie. The book and the movie are enjoyable. There's slight differences, I'd say. Like, one takes place a year later, and the other takes place the year before. And they also mention how the others died in the book. Unlike the movie, they only mentioned how one died. So yeah, there's, like, noticeable differences. But I'd say the movie's better, in my opinion. That's just me. There's cases where the movie's better than the book, and there's cases where the book is better than the movie, I'd say. But yeah, 1980s, out of 10, what would I give the 1980s? I would give them a, you know what? It's my favorite decade, so I'm gonna be biased here. 9.3 out of 10, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it's my favorite decade, mainly because, like, the entertainment. Yeah. Also, it's the first full decade, you know, I guess gaming is starting to rise, really. That too. Because, in the, 70s, it was sort of just starting, I guess. Well, the earliest video game goes back to the late 50s, but it wasn't public. Yeah. But yeah, I'd say 80s, great decade. Oh yeah, 1981, the Iranian the Iranian hostage crisis ends. Yeah, that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, I'd say it's better than the 70s and 60s, in my opinion, but even the 50s, you know? I think it's my favorite decade. Anyways, comment down below anything I missed, or I'll just mention it in the description, maybe. Anyways, peace.